Hi guys, it's Tony Robbins. You're listening to Habits and Hustle. Crush it.
Today on Habits and Hustle, we have the one and only Jillian Michaels. Jillian is the world's leading fitness expert, renowned nutritionist, and wellness entrepreneur galore, with an international community of followers exceeding 100 million. Jillian's dominance in health and wellness extends to her award-winning fitness app, Jillian Michaels, the fitness app. She has the most successful fitness DVDs of all time. She has 8 New York Times best-selling books. I mean, the list goes on. She has key business partnerships and investments, and her company, Empowered Media, has become a monumental wellness empire. I mean, if you don't get one thing from this podcast that you could integrate, I would be shocked. Please listen to the entire episode in its entirety. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Thank you for coming on the podcast. It's great to have you.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's long overdue. I would have had you long time ago, but your schedule is very, very busy and it's very hard to kind of nail you down. So that's why I even apologize more, because I know it's like, way beyond the time that we were supposed to start. So thank you.
Again, I'm happy to be doing it.
Awesome. Okay, so I'll do a proper intro later. Not like you really need an intro. I feel like anybody in the health or wellness, fitness, or if you're not living under a rock, know who you are. But you're just. I actually love your personality because you're so real. You're so authentic. You kind of say what's on your mind, and I loved you from the Biggest Loser days when you were doing that. And it's kind of like, was that kind of your first big thing before you kind of built your own?
My first public foray, if you will, into fitness. But I was legitimately a personal trainer since I was 17. And then I opened up a sports medicine facility when I was 29. So I'd been doing this work for a very long time, but ended up being offered an opportunity to do it on this international platform, which I, took for the opportunity, obviously, that it provided.
No, I mean, what do you think? Do you think that show would have, I know they brought it back actually, but do you think that show would have legs today? I mean, I don't know how the show's doing or what the kind of
ratings have legs
are
today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it didn't have legs today. Before it even came back, which begot a whole host of drama for me, somebody asked me in an interview for Women's Health, if I thought the show would have legs. And I was like, I don't, because I think the world has become so PC to a fault in certain cases where, now you can't even say, well, I can, and I continue to do so, that being overweight is dangerous and will kill you. Now it's like, oh, you can be healthy at any size. It's like, actually, you can't. It doesn't mean you're not beautiful. Doesn't mean you're not valuable. Doesn't mean you're not deserving. Doesn't mean you're not worthy. It just means that you are not actually healthy. And we're beyond this. This is like saying the earth is flat to make a claim like that. There's so much overwhelming empirical evidence to show that's absolutely not the case across the board. I mean, it's the number one contributor to heart disease, cancer, diabetes, over 70 different medical conditions. But nowadays, if you say that, you're fat phobic. It's bizarre. So knowing that, and the backlash I take doing what I do, knowing this fact, I had a feeling the show would not do well. And I don't know. I came and went as far as I know I'm guessing the reasons.
Well, to your point, and that's what I was saying before, why I like your personality so much is because you don't back down. Like, it's obvious. Like I always say the same thing. It's like everything is now so, you got to be so PC. You got to watch every little nook and cranny in what you say, where like everyone's living in this like weird, like surface level where it's like
McCarthyism. It really is. It's literally like an era of McCarthyism where it's a constant witch hunt and everyone is looking to attack everyone. It really makes no sense to me over nothing. Like I had a friend tell me to watch Behind Her Eyes the other day, right? And I was like, all right, some new Netflix show. And then I get this call and she's like, oh my God, I didn't know the ending when I sent it to you. I hope you don't think I'm that kind of person. And I was like, what is she talking? And to this day, I can't even figure out. I was like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, I'm not going to give away the show, but like, there's nothing even, like, everyone's so afraid over, it was
nothing.
like another, over nothing. Like, it's just, it's so odd. But I refuse to play that game. I refuse. I will not do it.
I mean, I saw in the news actually yesterday or the day before that, to Netflix has this show where one character in the show said something about like Taylor Swift, how she like goes through men. Did you see this? Men. And
I saw that and I was like, who cares? It's a joke.
It's a joke.
And then Taylor Swift responded and
I
wanted to be like, I literally wanted to be like, where is her homie? To be like, yo, girl, you're Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
You don't need to address this.
Oh, I know.
You're so much bigger than this. And you addressing this just makes the show that much bigger. Like, I was like, where is her like girl posse to stop her from reacting to that? It's like, dude, you're a mega star. This is beneath you.
It's like a compass. Where's your compass? I don't understand where your compass would be. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Where she went on this tirade, not just a little comment tweet, she went on and on about it. And it became a whole backlash back and forth over literally nothing. So now no one's able to say anything. No one's able to retort a comment. Or else it's a cancel culture here. It's unbelievable.
It's really bad in places like California. It's actually, what is so disappointing to me is that I grew up in California, and what the state stood for the longest time was really important to me. And that it was like, hey, look, being a liberal meant live and let live. That's what it meant to me. Yeah. It was like, you want to marry a woman and you're a woman, live and let live, right? Like, you want to practice this religion, live and let live. You want to make a better life for your family? Well, let's look at ways to reform immigration so good people can make a better life for themselves and their families. Look, I'm not being political. This is my personal opinions. I'm not telling you what anyone else should do. But it's like, you want to do that and reform the system and contribute to society? Absolutely. Like, that's what it meant to me. Now, things have become almost fascistic, where it's like, if you don't believe what I believe and you don't like what I like, you're excommunicated, you're canceled, your career's over. And that's terrifying to me. It really is. And it's actually one of the top reasons I'm looking to move out of California, because I'm like, this culture and this climate is very, very scary.
No, absolutely. And that's why a lot of my friends actually have left. So many of my friends have been, now they live in Austin, they live in Florida. They're just moving.
Nashville, Miami. Yep. We're looking at Miami right now.
Yeah. Half my troop is already in Miami. They've left because it's just California, to your point, is becoming, it's really a hard place to live if you have any opinion beyond one singular myopic way of thinking.
It's very odd. I don't understand it. And I don't know if it's also because I'm from an older generation, and being gay, look, I lived through the gays can't get married, gays can't adopt, we hate gays. I lived through all of that. It wasn't cool. You didn't have pop stars kissing other girls and being fluid. That wasn't a thing. So, a lot of the gay community for years took issue with me because they didn't feel I was militant enough. But my approach was very different. I felt that, yes, I will fight for my equal rights to marry, because it comes with a host of rights that are very, very important, and to adopt, because I would like to give a child a better life, and I think I can, and I want to be a mom. With that said, I never felt the need to turn around and go, well, now I'm going to punish you for being heterosexual. Now you heteros can't get married, and you heteros can't adopt kids. And if you heteros don't love me and my lifestyle, I'm not going to shop at your business. That was never the way I approached it. My approach was like, I get that it's scary to you. I get that it's different. You have to tolerate the fact that I deserve equality because I pay equal taxes. And my hope is that as you get to know me and you get more familiar and you get more comfortable, your knowledge will grow about homosexuality, and you will become more tolerant. And it doesn't mean that I would tolerate having any less or being treated any less equal. It just means that I don't have a retaliatory approach that is like, you can't think different. You're not allowed to dislike me. You're not allowed to, I don't know how to describe it. I just don't think that this approach is the way forward to unity and understanding. Personally, I don't think so. And I won't compromise. I won't lie because it's politically correct. I'm not here to influence anybody's political opinion. In my line of work, I refuse to deny obvious biological truths. Period. End of story. And I maintain my personal beliefs and tolerate other people's.
Well, that's very well said. So when I knew you were coming on today, I did a little bit of my research on different interviews or whatever I saw, and I couldn't believe actually how many things came up with backlash to you. Like the second you open your mouth, people are screaming. I didn't even know that you and Andy Cohen had a big rival. I had no idea. Obviously, it's not part of my milieu.
Really did. That was an actual bizarre. That was one of the more bizarre experiences I've ever had. It was years ago, and again, my son was like just born, and I think I had come out with. I think it was Slim for Life. That's how long ago it was, an old book. And which is a title you couldn't even begin to utilize right now. So
like 1986, because that would have killed you. You know what I mean? Like anytime in the last little while.
Exactly. Just the use of the word slim is
God forbid. I know. Yeah. God forbid. I know.
Geez. So I had been doing press for days for this book tour, and I was up at like 5 a.m, and his show was like 12 at night at media all day. So I was actually really excited because I kind of, having grown up in the gay community as a kid, I say kid, I mean like teenager, early 20s, I have a lot of gay men friends, and we had a lot of mutual friends. And I had always thought he was kind of funny and kitschy, and I was excited to meet him. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited to meet you, whatever. And then he was kind of a dick, like right away. And he brought out this shot ski thing. I don't know if you've seen it. No. And it's like, he's like, whenever we say something, you take a drink or whatever. And I nodded. I nodded because I like, yes, right. And I was completely like, I was exhausted. He goes, do you get it? Do you understand? And I was like, oh shit. Like, what is this? So I was like, I go,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I get it. So then the show starts, and he's like, has these calls coming in about what a bitch I am, and like, digging into like people that he claims I dated that I never dated, like all this weird. And I was like, why am I getting like set up? This is so weird. And I didn't do anything because it's live, right? So I was super chill, very calm, and I was like, oh, you dick. And it was like, aren't you losing this season because you're such a bitch, or it was something like that, like a bad trainer. Like he had it was really weird. And I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on, or like why I'm being set up, or what's, So show ends, and I literally was like, I have no idea what this was about, but this was the single most shitty experience I have ever had in the media to this day. So whatever you wanted, congratulations, you got it. That was an awful experience. And you totally fucked me. Congratulations. And left thinking it was over. And then I was like, people were like, oh my God, what was that? That was so weird. Like you can watch the episode. And I was like, I have no idea, dude. I don't know. They were like, he was totally out for you. I was like, I don't know. It was really bizarre. And then for years, he was like, Jillian Michaels is the worst guest I ever had. Because I was like, whatever, we're never going to do Andy again. And then it came up again when I came out with a book about longevity. And ironically, one of the things that comes up in the book is that keto is actually really bad for longevity. And like, I don't have an investment in this. I'm selling the eat less, move more diet, right? There's no money in that. Like, I don't have an agenda. Right. If that was the way forward, I would tell you. So he comes out and first he attacks someone on the Today Show for going keto, a woman. Then that week he attacked me for saying keto is not good for you, which, by the way, the next year, all of a sudden, all the doctors grew a pair of balls and all came out and said, this is the worst diet you can ever do, right? It was rated the worst diet, I think of like 2019 or something like that.
Yep.
A year later, after I, of course, took the hit and came out and said it first. So then I was like, all right, great. You want to debate this? Let's debate this. And then, he never said another word. But that I really, honestly, to this day, have no idea kind of why or how we started out like that. But once we did, I was like, all right, you're an asshole. And and
that's so odd. Like, do you think he did it for ratings, or just to kind of like have something in the...
If I had to guess, my guess is that he might have been friends with someone that I had dated or something, and definitely had it in for me. Yeah, that was my guess. It was absolutely personal. And you could tell, like, it was very, like, you can watch the episode. It was very bizarre.
It is. That is very bizarre.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Because he was a real jerk from the moment that I stepped on set. And then I came to find out, like, that he's very close with, anyway, it doesn't matter. That was my guess.
He's very close to someone that you knew or dated, and he kind of took offense to it, and then it kind of spiraled.
Yes, I am guessing.
But you're probably on the right track, though.
I think so.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I'm not the only one to have the only woman to have issues with the guy. I mean, the guy, he's, I don't know.
He looks like it though. Like I wasn't surprised. I mean, it wasn't like he is kind of like he does have like an attitude, like he does. It's not like it's like a shocker when I saw that one. I just thought, oh, this is another person who's like just has to like kind of get their name in the ring to kind of just to kind of jump on the bandwagon.
I'm so sorry. I do not have COVID. Already had COVID. I'm afraid to even cough. I'm like, oh God.
I know. God forbid you sneeze in public.
Oh no. I will leave a room. Girl, I will run from a room if I have to cough or sneeze.
I know. I was like literally walking down my street, like, and I just like sneezed a little bit. The people who were walking like literally 4 feet in front of me ran to the other side of the street. It's like the most, we can go on and on about these things all day and night. I can tell you, like, it's crazy. Oh my
goodness. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think I have no idea. I had a bad experience with him. I've heard from many people since, that had bad experiences with him. Different housewives in particular, are like, oh my God, X, Y, and Z. So, whatever, I mean, I hope he goes with God, but it's like, I'm certainly not, like, I wish nobody any harm, but if you're going to come at me, I'll come right back at you. It's like, all right, well, turnabout's fair play. You want to talk about keto? Let's talk about keto. And then don't really runs on heights for the hills, but whatever.
And also, like, it is kind of, that is kind of your like area, right? Like the keto, like, why can you not have an opinion? Like, why people get very upset about these diets. Like, I've had a lot of these people on who are like the carnivore person or the keto person. And if anyone doesn't agree, again, like, this is like not a person. This is actually just a diet choice. And people if you're not a vegan, I mean,
okay, first of all, it's not an opinion. It's a matter of science. And that's what's very frustrating about that conversation.
Oh, with the keto, yes, of course.
No, it could be anything. Calories. Yeah. It could be vegan. It could be keto. It's, well, that's your take. Well, what's your opinion? I'm like, no.
It's data.
It's data,
yeah.
Right? And you have to look at all the data for each and every diet. So when I look at each and every diet, I look at being vegan and I'm like, okay, like I get this and I get this and I get this. There are some concerns about B12, collagen, a certain one of the omega-3s, getting iron as a woman. I'm not going to judge. You want to be vegan? Be vegan. I don't care. It's my job when people come to me to say, hey, look, these are some of the potential issues and here's how you mitigate them. It's with keto. It's my job to say, hey, look, yeah, there are the following benefits, but there are also the following negative side effects. Here's how you mitigate them. It's my job to turn around and say, hey, look, calories do count. They do matter. And if you want to lose weight, you have to track them. People make money off of diets, right? So For example, keto was $1 billion business and you had massive publicly traded companies doubling down on it, like Weight Watchers, right? And there's I'm not going to name any names, but there are certain individuals in my space that were like, this is a trend. So we're going to do keto supplements and keto bars and keto this. And they look at the trends and then they build products on coming trends. It's a business. So when someone comes along and has somewhat of a decent voice in this space and says, that's bullshit, actually, no one's going to be happy about that. So there's money. Now, when it's a regular person, they do feel that this is very much like a religion. And when you suggest that it's not ideal, it's almost as though you're attacking their God. And I don't mean to, it's not about attacking anybody as a person. It's looking at the data on these diets and putting it out there for anyone to pick up or leave. It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
I don't make money if you're vegan or not vegan. I don't make money if you're keto or not keto. In fact, the only thing I've ever actually made money on is selling workouts. I mean, other than investing in strategic areas. And no one can debate that. You either want to work out or you don't, and no one can debate that it's good for you or not. My advice on diet has always been very straightforward. Don't overeat. Use common sense with your food choices. Go organic whenever you possibly can. Done. I mean, can't really take that one to the bank.
Right. But why do people not want to hear that? They don't want to hear they don't want to listen to the common sense. Because I say that too all the time. And people want to have this magic bullet or like the newest trend or the newest fad to hang their hat on. When right now, what's hot and, cool now will be like kind of looked upon in 4 or 5 years as like, remember Snackwells? Remember how everyone said eat low fat and everyone was eating low fat? Remember that whole thing?
Remember all of it. Girl, we've been through every cycle of every fad of fat makes you fat. Lies.
Yes.
Carbs make you fat. Also a lie. Animal protein is the devil. Also not true. Like it's
cyclical too.
It is. Yeah, well, these are all fad diets that are reskinned. Yeah. So keto is Atkins reskinned, right?
100%.
Paleo was the Neolithic diet reskinned. They're all just, the Pritikin is the fat makes you fat. It's all reskinned. So I think that some people are looking for a magic bullet, but the issue here is like, I got a newsletter. I'll give you an example. I got a newsletter from a fitness app that a friend of mine is on. And so I signed, I signed up for it to do his little AdWords, to give him some, positive press. And so I get this newsletter, and in the newsletter, it's like big hand, right? The hand emoji, stop, count calories. And I was like, oh my God, you assholes. Cause it's trendy to say, right? It's trendy to say this. And it's like, you want to be PC and you want everybody to like you and you want everybody to, but it's not true. It's a total lie. And it's the first law of thermodynamics, calorie counting. Mm-hmm. It's a law. It's not a theory. It's not an opinion. It's a law. Calories are units of energy, period. And it's like saying a pound is a pound. A pound of feathers is the same as a pound of cement. Now, when you hold each in your hand, they'll have a different impact on your skin, but a pound is a pound. And what I mean by that is that calories are units of energy, whether they're from an avocado or a pack of gummy bears. So when you consume more calories than your body burns in a day, no matter what the source, you will store that extra energy in your fat cells. Period. It's not a conversation. Now, the differentiation is that avocado has more micronutrients, more vitamins, more minerals. It will impact your hormones differently. So yes, over a very long period of time, these calories can only impact your weight by influencing your base metabolic rate. And that takes years and it's still minimal, right? So you might be like, well, I went from burning 1,400 calories a day to 1,300 calories a day without exercise and activity. It's still minimal. The greatest impact that those foods have is in their micronutrient content, which impacts your health. And that's very significant, but it's not a conversation of weight.
Right.
So if someone is trying to lose weight, to lie to them and say, oh no, you don't have to count calories because it's politically correct, is just a lie. And you're not doing them any favors.
Well, you're right. First of all, there's a big distinction between weight and health. There's two separate.
Absolutely.
If you're looking for weight loss versus health benefits, that's separate. People try to merge the two together.
Stop.
What kind of dog is this? How many dogs don't you have like 100 dogs too?
2 of them.
Oh, I thought you have a lot more.
No, I have 2. One is like 13 years old and just crotchety and grumpy. And she's like 20 pounds and the love of my life, but oh my God, and thinks she's Cujo. And then the other one is 3 years old and he's about 45 pounds and he's sweet and stupid and he's like just a doll and wouldn't hurt a fly. But nevertheless, unfortunately, as I mentioned, we're trying to move out of California. Although
are you actually moving? If the guy's actually here looking at your place.
Yeah, no. We sold the house twice.
Oh, so you're legit leaving like now, soon.
I'm trying, but there's so many people leaving. There's actually zero homes in Miami. So somebody just came back to me with like a few different things on an offer. And I was like, no, like the answer is no. The house is, because that's how we're just so, we're like, you want the house or you don't want the house? Take the house, don't take the house. But the guy that's here is actually a moving company here to give us an estimate.
Oh my gosh. That is so funny.
I'm so sorry. It's been a constant state of chaos here. Honestly, I apologize. This is wildly unprofessional. So please forgive me.
No, please. It's
but I'm still working from home here in California, as you know.
I know. I mean, that's why all of this back and forth on Zooms, I'd rather do in person. It's just much easier and better.
Dude, I would give anything. It's crazy. It's not even the kids. It's the dogs, the doorbell, the this, the that. Because
absolutely
is a little civilization unto itself of like comings and goings of different, the mailman, my assistant, the pets are coming and going, the spa guy. It's like always something. And so trying to like do this with the doorbell and the people is like, it's been this. I'm so sorry.
No, absolutely not. In fact, next time can we do this if I ever see you again, but we should do it in person because I'm like so over all of this stuff. I can't tell you.
Oh my God, me too. I would love that.
I mean, because this is just, I know, like I'm telling you any second now, like, by the way, as you're talking, I have heard little rumbles at my door and someone's like, don't go in there, mommy's working. And then my other kid comes because I have a pod happening out. Like one of my kids, you have a pod?
I've done a pod, but they're elsewhere for the pod. Thank
you're
the Lord
lucky.
above.
Okay.
I am yes, you're not wrong.
I have six little 5-year-olds outside my door with a little pod outside that I can hear and look at. And then upstairs, my other one's on a Zoom class. So it's like literally like it's mayhem around here. So
we're the only state still, I think one of the only states still dealing with this, right?
Oh, we are. And first of all, do you know that, I mean, we are technically allowed to go back to school. You know that. And
I know the whole thing.
Yeah.
I know all about it. And like the governor can't convince the teachers unions. Even the president has said he wants the kids back at school within 100 days. And it's now so political and so crazy that like no one even knows what's going on and the kids are still not in school and the parents still can't go back to work. And it's like, how are we politicizing a pandemic?
I know.
I'm like, really? Like, that's another thing going on with California, though, right there, dude, is we cannot even get people on the same team on the same page. It's just nuts to me. I don't get it.
It is absolutely. And I see all my friends and my family who are now in Miami or Florida or wherever.
Soccer.
Yeah.
No cases. Lower than us.
They're like at a restaurant and they're having their kids are playing soccer. They're doing everything like normal. And I literally I'm looking at them like, I feel like a trapped animal here. It really is that.
It's bizarre. It really is. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. And it's like, it's not even a left or right thing. Like even the left, even Newsom, our governor, even Biden are like, okay, we got to kind of get back. And they can't.
They can't.
I don't know. I don't understand. I don't presume to understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. All I know is how is everyone else figuring it out but us?
I mean,
makes sense.
So are you going to take your kid? This is kind of off topic, but are you going to go with the kids and then your ex is going to come with you? How is it going to work with the kids? Because
I know. So Heidi was going to move and then kind of decided last minute that she didn't want to move for something involving her twin sister and whatever. And it's like, okay. So what we are going to do, it's kind of crazy, but now thanks to distance plus learning, we're splitting. I'm like, you know what? There's actually a benefit here. So we're splitting summers, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. And then my daughter actually is going to do 20 days in Miami, 10 days in LA. My son's going to do 20 days in LA, 10 days in Miami. And then the kids are going to overlap. So when he's with me, they're together. When she's with my ex, they're together. So they get 9 days of time alone, 20 days of time together. And they'll do 10 days with me, 20 days with her. And the same for my daughter. Because it's like, okay, well, now I've already spoken to the schools. I can do 5 days remote. I can do four weekend days and 1 day of travel for each kid, where I can have tutors on both sides. So it's actually the only benefit of distance learning is it's allowing me to do a bi-coastal model, and the kids will do one round trip ticket a month. And that's it. And this way, because normally she and I are actually right down the middle. We're 15-15, but I always had to travel for work. So I'd lose a few of my 15 days.
Right.
society. So it ended up being 60-40. And now it's actually going to be that my daughter's with me 60, her 40. My son's with her 60 and me 40, and the kids will overlap. So that's the one good thing that came out of this distance learning is this.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I know, it's kind of crazy. I know. So, let's see. But it's just, yeah, I've definitely hit a point with California where it was just so sad, dude. I mean, I've lived here my whole life, and everything again that this state used to stand for meant so much to me. And now everything that it stands for is everything I'm against, is everything of like silencing differences of opinion and canceling people. And it just feels very fascistic. That's not what this was about, in my opinion. It used to be live and let live. It used to be about tolerance. That was the whole idea. Yeah. And it's the exact opposite of that. And it means that you have to tolerate people's opinions that upset you. That's called freedom of speech. They don't get to hurt you. They don't get to act on it. They get to rob you of equality. But they are allowed to wear a MAGA hat without you deciding they never work again. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I know.
Start a list, put names on it. That's insane. That is like, I don't even know what that's like. I'm seeing people, we're keeping a list. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Trump had said, we're going to keep a list of all of you who voted for Hillary and you're never going to work again. You're going to be excommunicated from society. We would have gone batshit. You want to talk about Hitlerian? You know what I mean? We would have gone nuts. And it's like, now I'm hearing the same thing. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, no, dude, you should be able to wear a burqa, a MAGA hat, a freaking, I don't care. You should be a nudist. And we should all allow that's America.
Yeah.
Period. It freaks me out, Mama. I don't know.
No, it freaks. Listen, I hear everything you're saying. I mean, these are the same conversations I have offline with, my friends and people, my husband, whatever. I mean, it's a real problem, and I don't see it getting better. I actually just see it getting worse and worse.
It gets better when we speak out against it, when we refuse to kowtow to it. So when there's actually a guy who's brilliant at talking about this. You should look into interviewing him. His name is Gad Saad, and he's an evolutionary psychologist. He's on Rogan all the time. Actually, he's brilliant.
Oh, I think I have heard of him.
He's amazing. He wrote a book called The Parasitic Mind, and he talks about how this is such a dangerous threat to democracy and free thought. He's an absolute genius. The guy was a refugee from Lebanon. I mean, he's a Jewish Arab. I mean, he's just incredible. And I say that because he understands these issues.
Yeah. So I'm Jewish, and I understand what you mean when you say that.
My mom's a Jew. My dad's an Arab.
Your mom's Jewish?
My mom's a Jew. My dad's Arab. I'm gay and a woman. I got a black kid and a brown kid. So when I have gotten to this place with California, it's kind of scary. It's like, dude, what's going on? I just don't. Anyway, it's we have to stand up and hold our ground and tell the truth and refuse to engage in this fear mongering, period.
No, I agree with you. But to your point, I agree we have to do all of those things. But most people are too scared to actually say what they really believe. And therefore, they rather go with the mainstream of what they think is PC because they're nervous of what the fallout will be. And that's the problem.
The hypocrisy also drives me a little bit nuts. I'm not going to lie. It's like, the teacher from the California Teachers Union dropping his kid off at private school.
Yeah.
It's like, and blasted on. I'm like, buddy, or like the governor
going to
saying, going to the French Laundry.
Going to French Laundry. I know. It's like
you went to the most elite, expensive restaurant in the Western Hemisphere and dined with 12 people, no mask, as you told everybody they couldn't see their families on Thanksgiving.
Oh, it's
like, are you not like that kind of stuff? I'm just like, what the?
You know what I also think is impressive? Most people who are in the public eye, that's where I feel that where you shine, right? Because most people will kowtow because they are scared of what the fallout will be. They will lose different deals. They'll lose different, job opportunities. They'll lose their fan base. They'll lose this. And so that's kind of like where people, that's where the benchmark kind of is. And I think that's really sad. I think when people have a voice, that's who should really be the role model for other people to look to, because you can't just have one person doing it, because then you just get, you get bad. You just get,
and they all come up to you and they're like, oh, I saw you said that, good for you. And you're like, oh my goodness. It's
yes, exactly.
You gotta, if we could all, like, I remember even this fitness expert, he's actually beyond that. He's got like multiple advanced degrees in exercise science. He's a very, very, very well-respected guy.
What's his name?
I'll give you some. I can't tell you his name only because I'm going to tell you what happened.
Okay.
When I first came out against, let's say, keto, for example, this is years ago. This isn't about, fat doesn't make you fat, things like whatever. It's not about weight. It's not about any, I got the DM and it was like, when I said keto was, potentially dangerous, it was like, good for you, girl. It does this. Actually, he didn't say girl. He's not gay. So not a straight guy would say that too. But good for you, someone needed to say it. I'm thinking, why haven't you said it?
Yeah.
You have a huge platform. Say it. You're the one with 1,000 degrees here. Like, say it, bro. Don't just message me behind the scenes, you coward.
Did you say that to him?
Nah, I don't bother. I was like, thanks for the pat on the back, homie. And then a year later, then everybody was bold enough to say it. But, it's like people are scared. They just are. And I get that you're right, but the only way forward is to, when you're an expert, you have the luxury of standing in that truth. Politically, I don't have a leg to stand on. I don't know anything about anything. I don't know anything about economics. I don't know anything about immigration. Like, I have my own opinions, but I'm certainly not going to try to influence anybody's opinions because I'm not the expert. I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on COVID. I don't know. Right. I do know my line of work and I know it inside and out. So when I tell you that obesity causes type 2 diabetes, or is one of the major contributors of type 2 diabetes, because you can also be skinny and get type 2 diabetes. But, I'm right. I'm not going to, it's like, this is a fact. It's a scientific fact. And I think if we have these experts that can stand in their truth and then be supported, that helps. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
People don't turn around and attack them and call them names and, but I've done it and I'm still standing. So there you have it. I did lose deals, but whatever.
You did? You actually lost deals from it?
Oh my God. Absolutely. Of course. Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And I even had people try not to pay me on certain deals because they were like, Jillian's fat phobic. And I was like, I'm the least fat phobic person you know. Number one, I was overweight. Number two, I understand this issue more than just about any other expert out there because it's been my life's work. And number three, I'm not afraid to talk about it and I'm not afraid to tell the truth. And you are, which is actually makes you fat phobic of like lying because you know you're virtue signaling because you don't actually know anything about the truth. And if you really knew that, if you really cared about people, you would not want them to orphan their kids or die 20 years early or end up going bankrupt because of chemo or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Who do you think you're benefiting? Yeah, but I absolutely have. I mean, what are you going to do?
That's really, it's like, again, to your point, if you're 250 pounds, the health risks are so severe beyond what the physical, besides the physical appearance of what you are. I mean, we're not talking vanity. Exactly.
Irrelevant. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
I know. And that wasn't your point. I know. It wasn't even your point.
That's totally irrelevant. And again, nobody is saying that if you are 100 pounds overweight, 50 pounds overweight, that you're not smart, you're not beautiful, you're not deserving. It's the exact opposite. It's actually that you're all those things. So we want you to live as long as possible and be disease free. We don't want to see you, like leave your husband a widower or orphan your kids or get breast cancer. And a friend of mine the other day had this really great quote and it was like, if you don't make time for your wellness, you'll be forced to make time for your illness. So I don't get, like, why do you want somebody, why are you going to lie to them now and like say, oh no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Oh no, it's all great. It's all good. Oh no, you're until they end up actually getting sick, having a massive heart attack, because they will. 7 in 10 Americans are on medication for obesity. Bankruptcy due to health-related conditions is the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country. Heart disease is the number one killer of women in this country. Obesity kills, I think it's 30,000 people a month in America alone. I mean, guys, so I'm not going to deny that. Now, whatever someone chooses to do is up to them. But this is what I do. So if somebody wants help, I'm going to give you the truth. Take it or leave it.
Wow, I didn't know that you lost all those deals, because you seem like you've built your own brand. So like, I mean, I know of course, you have your fit,
which be impervious to a certain extent.
Thankfully.
But you still lose a lot of money along the way. You're absolutely right. Thankfully, I have my own platform, so nobody can fire me from my app.
Right.
You know what I mean? Nobody can fire me from my platform or the companies I invest in. Thank God. Because I guarantee you that if I'm still working for NBC, I'm sure I would have been fired.
You would have been gone a long time ago. If that was your only, income source, I would say I'm very sorry for you, because it wouldn't have lasted. But that is the truth. Like, you're able to build out a really strong brand beyond just partnerships and endorsement deals, right? So, I mean, so your app, by the way, it's been around for a while, but are you always like updating the app? Or it seems like it's very customizable, and it's very it's so thorough. There's like so much information on there.
I kind of liken it to the way Netflix was, like back in the day when they used to send you DVDs in the mail, right? Like, and it was, okay, we're going to put all Jillian's DVDs on there. Then it evolved, and we looked at all these different algorithms and technologies so that we could customize your workout, we could customize your nutrition. And then it was, okay, hold on, now we're going to add mindfulness to the platform. Amazing. Okay, wait a second. Now we're going to add new trainers to the platform. So it's gotten to this place where it is a one-stop shop for everything fitness, nutrition, and wellness, because you end up having an app for mindfulness, an app for tracking, an app for food, an app for home fitness, an app for gym fitness, an app for this kind of fitness. And it gets ridiculous, and there's no need for it. So, while I love things like Peloton, not everybody has $2,000 for a bike.
Yes.
Or, you know what I mean? That's wonderful. Or $50 a month to put towards the membership. So for us, that's what it's about. It's called the Fitness app. And I say us because, it's not just me. It's a team of people running this beast now.
Because it is a beast. When it's that size of that much content, it takes probably like a little village to maintain it.
It's an absolute village to run this thing and grow it. And it's got a million different arms now, production arm, a marketing arm, a dev team. It's a whole, but that's great. I love it. And that's what I always hoped for it. And the great thing about apps is they're everywhere. So we're auto installed on every Samsung television now. And then we're going on every Samsung phone and tablet in the coming year. You can obviously find it in, App Store, Google Play Store, but now we're going into cable channels. So it's going to be Amazon Fire, and then it's going to be Roku. So it's basically omnipresent, right? And from there, the goal is, no matter what your fitness level, no matter what your fitness goal, no matter what your nutrition goal or your nutrition preference, whether you're vegan or whether you're keto, we have the best registered dietitians creating meal plans for your goals, right? So you can show up and say, I'm cooking for 4, I'm cooking for 1, and it automatically adjusts the amount of ingredients. You can say, I don't ever want to see peanuts again, and ban different ingredients. You can say, I'm going to favorite these ingredients and get all those recipes. You can say, I only want vegan recipes. I only want gluten-free recipes. You can pick from every single recipe in every meal plan. You can say, I want to lose weight, and it adjusts calories. I want to gain muscle, and it adjusts calories. I want to maintain weight, and it adjusts serving size. So it does that with your food. It does that with your fitness. And now the goal is to add the best experts in the best niches of fitness. So we just shot Taylor Walker, who is a prenatal fitness specialist. And then we're going to shoot a guy named Brandon Voles, who's a corrective exercise specialist. Oh. And now we're adding a guy named Jim Donovan, who's a sleep expert, to do a bunch of sound baths and different meditations to help people sleep better. So that is the idea. It's evolved to that.
Oh, wow.
It's one platform, everything you need. Hopefully.
Wow. No, that's more, it sounds like much more of a robust like platform than most of these apps actually, right? Because people usually, like you said, they have like, they do the workouts or they do the nutrition or they do the calorie. Do you do calorie counting on yours too?
We track all, and we sync with Apple Health as well, and MyFitnessPal. So if you're
you sync with MyFitnessPal.
they
Yeah.
do a fantastic job. So we kind of looked at that and we were like, okay, hold on a second here. They do a really good job, like with the tracking and this. So we just linked in, we sync with their tracking. So you can pull all of that information in, and that way it's all kept. Our meals go in there, everything. You get personalized.
Wow.
You can see how your activity log, your calories, weight trackers, progress trackers. There's message boards. There's audio only workouts. There's gym work. It's everything. That's the goal, is to make it everything and then continue adding. So right now I'm really looking for I need a fantastic yogi. There are some great ones out there, but they're locked up in other things. So
yeah,
that's, I'm trying to find like I'm looking for people that are amazing or I'm not amazing, so that I can say, I'm not just grabbing a bunch of random trainers and slapping a bunch of random content up there. I want to be able to say to moms, hey, guess what? We have the foremost pregnancy fitness specialist who created a program just for you. And then there's a postnatal program. And I want everybody to say, like, girl, you got to do Taylor Walker. Oh my God, are you doing Taylor Walker's program when they get pregnant? Like, that's my whole signature programs designed to meet individual needs, that's fully customizable and personalized.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I mean, like I said, I didn't realize it was that robust, where you can actually, you customize it. Like if I said I only have, free weights, like, dumbbells, would all the dumbbell workouts only come up? If I only have, body weight, all the body weight, stuff like that?
Okay, so there are 3 different aspects of the fitness program. So the first one is my entire DVD library, and now all of the pre-recorded content that we're adding to it, like Taylor Walker, right? So there's still follow along video. Then the app engine, now we're adding a guide to this so that we'll reskin this for men. He's fantastic. His name is Ryan Tremaine. He's amazing. You can see him on Instagram. It's at Rhinosaurus Flex. But there's an engine of over 2,000 exercises, and they're all shot individually. So I've created programs using those 2,000 exercises. So it could be kickboxing, it could be yoga, it could be mat Pilates, it could be whatever. And you show up and you say, I want this program, this 90-day, let's say, bridal boot camp, but I'm a beginner. So every move that I shot, I had the programmers create progressions and modifications. So let's say I did 20 push-ups, right? And I said, okay, if this move's too hard, it should default to that move. If this move's too easy, it should advance to that move. So the algorithm knows when you tell me it's too easy, it's too hard, how I would do it in person, which move I would swap out, how I would modify, or how I would progress. So you can drag in your own music. You can change the rest time between exercises. So even those set programs are modifiable with regard to difficulty level, how long you want to rest in between exercises, pulling in your own tunes. Then there's something called the workout generator. So you can show up to the workout generator and you can tell me, I want a total body workout. I want legs. I want upper body. I want abs. I want HIIT. I want foam rolling. I want stretching. I want to do it for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. You select. I want beginner. I want intermediate. I want advanced level of difficulty. You select. I have all of these pieces of equipment available or not at all. And then of those 2,000, it will populate an on-demand workout for you in the moment. And we have audio workouts as well. So if you're like, I want to go outside, I want to go for an active recovery run, and you don't want to look at your phone, then we take you through a run, ladder drills, sprint training, so like Stairmaster workouts, all that stuff just on audio if you don't want to look at your phone.
Oh my God. This sounds like a really good app. Like legit, it does. I want to know what you do every day. Like I know your app sounds great, but you've been doing this for so long. Like there must be like some kind of like, what has your workout regime, like has it evolved since the beginning? What do you do today? What do you eat? I want to know the day in the life of what you do. And we know you have great skin. That we know.
You're so sweet. Okay. I am very common sense with my food and my fitness. I eat all 3 macros because that's what's best for you. I eat them in their mode.
Story. Start from the beginning. Like, what time do you wake up in the morning? What do you, the first thing you drink? What's the first thing you eat? I want to talk about your exact, precise.
Okay. I wake up at 7, whether I have my kids that day or not. I usually make them breakfast, my girlfriend coffee, feed my dogs. And then I have actually started doing just black coffee with a small splash of organic cream because I'm trying to extend that overnight fasting period.
So you do intermittent.
It's called breakfast. It's called breaking the overnight fast.
I know. I was going to say, like, it sounds like intermittent. You're saying I put a dollop of cream, which means you don't want to get out of the fasting. Are you a faster?
Oh, I know. Okay, so it's actually not fasting. We think of fasting as like food calorie deprivation. It isn't that. It's just a period where your body is not focused on metabolizing food. And after I wrote this book on aging, there's some very real science to that. It allows your body to do housekeeping.
Right.
And to not get too technical, basically you have something called an Mtor pathway, which is a metabolic pathway that gets activated by carbohydrates and protein. We want to keep that pathway from being activated for as long as possible, 12 to 16 hours. I cannot get to 16 hours. It makes me overeat when I eat. I can get to 14 hours. So if I stop eating because I eat early because of my kids, if I stop eating at 6:30 at night and I can get to 8:30 in the morning, you know what I mean? I got a really nice 14-hour window there, which is great. So I get up and I have coffee with just a splash of cream because it has no carbs, no protein. So it doesn't activate that Mtor pathway. So it's a little bit of a cheat on that fasting period. And it's just for your body to focus on cleaning up dead and senescent tissue. It helps with apoptosis and autophagy, which means exactly pretty much what I just said. It stresses your sirtuins, which is your longevity genes, in a good way. So it's great for longevity and immunity. Done. We don't need to get too crazy about it. Wrote a whole book about it with a bunch of doctors. This is why I do it. So I have that coffee with a little cream to try to eke out like to hour 14 from hour 12. Then after I get the kids to school, feed everybody, whatever, I'm at my computer working, doing emails, doing interviews, whatever it might be. And then I'll generally have breakfast. And sometimes it's like an egg and a piece of toast. It could be organic chicken sausage with some fruit. It could be a yogurt parfait, but it's always really clean food, most whole form, protein, fat, carbs. And what I mean by that is it's not like some cheap processed white bread. It's like whole grain, organic, an organic egg, a little bit of olive oil, like all the healthy fats, all the healthy carbs, all the healthy proteins.
What kind of bread is it? Is it like Ezekiel bread or?
I use Dave's. I used to use Ezekiel. I like Dave's better.
Oh, Dave's, you like that?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What? Tell me.
Forget it. I do like the brand.
Okay. You're so nervous to say anything.
No. You know what it is? I had kind of a shitty experience with the guy who, I'm not sure if he still is the CEO of the company. He screwed us over on a deal with so delicious coconut milk. So I hate endorsing the bread because he's such a jerk. But I do eat the bread. What are you gonna do? Yeah,
you like the bread.
The guy, he kind of pulled a crappy stunt with us on another business deal years ago. So like, I hate that this guy has this runs, or he might not anymore. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's not relevant. It's just me being petty. So 3 to 4 hours later.
I love your pettiness.
I was just being a bitch. So 3 to 4 hours later, I will usually have a snack. And it could be carrots and cucumbers with hummus. It could be blue corn chips, salsa, and some turkey slices, but it's the same game. Protein, fat, carbs. 3 to 4 hours later, I have a bigger lunch, which allows me to have a smaller dinner. That's why I like to go snack then lunch so that I don't overeat at dinner. So then it could be a turkey sandwich with a side salad. You know, it could be Sometimes we pick up sushi down the street and I get like some sashimi and some, I don't get the rolls with all the crazy fried stuff, but it could be salmon sushi. It could be ahi, whatever. It could be grilled chicken tacos, but it's all 3 macros. Once again, all, in this normal calorie allowance. Then dinner, and it's kind of the same game as lunch, all 3 macros. I finish dinner usually almost always by 7, if not a little bit earlier. And then I don't eat again until the next morning. Common sense, I eat about 1,800 calories a day because that's what I burn in a day, give or take, and then give or take on the days I train. So it kind of all balances out. Some days are a little more, some days are a little less. I train 4 times a week for 30 minutes, and I use all the techniques I know to use. I lift weights.
Wait. Hold on. 30 minutes only? You only work out for 30 minutes 4 times a week?
That's it, if that.
That's it? Honestly?
Yeah. Hand to God.
I was going to say, I know, I cannot believe it.
Yeah, my kids, if you don't believe it, I'll say, like, no matter what your beliefs is, I swear on my kids. Yeah. And it's because it's how I train and how I eat. And I'm in maintenance mode. Try to remember that. So I want you to think of, if you're unfit, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're unfit or you're trying to lose weight, it's kind of like having student loans. You need to work a little bit extra hard, right, to dig through that previous debt. So you're not just paying current bills, you're also trying to dig through old bills. So you got to work a little harder.
Right.
You got to do a little bit more.
Right.
I'm in maintenance mode. I don't have any debt. So it's easy for me to coast.
Yeah.
So I don't need to do more than that. I am maintaining what's already working well. And for me now, I don't overeat. I eat really well. I supplement a lot. I'm that's where I'm crazy. That's where you'd be like, you're fucking nuts. I am a supplement lunatic. So nor do I think anybody's going to want to do the kind of stuff that I do, but I do it religiously. And it makes a huge difference. I've noticed for my immunity, my energy, how I sleep, how I manage my stress, my skin, all of that. It makes a big difference. That's where I get a little nutso.
I want to hear about that because I know you're a big supplement person. I'm still in shock that you only work out 30 minutes 4 times a week. What do you do? Is it weight training?
I do all of it. I do HIIT training. I do circuits, so I don't rest. So I maximize every single second of that 30 minutes. And if you've ever done one of my workouts, you can see that we don't rest. It's I rest certain muscle groups, but you're not resting. Right. So it might be push-ups and then into squats. So chest, shoulders, triceps are resting, but you're not resting. And then you're doing squats. Then I might do a HIIT interval. So I might jump rope for a minute. Then I might hold a plank and let my heart rate come down, but I'm still conditioning my core. So I'm still not resting.
Right.
This is what I do. My trainer logic is very advanced. I've been doing this for a very long time. I've worked with a lot of amazing people, in exercise science, physiologists, biochemists, endocrinologists. So I have a very significant trainer logic and I know how to make the most out of that 30 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I use it. I lift weights. I use body weight. I train functionally, blah, blah, blah. So I do all those techniques that would make your kind of eyes roll back in your head when I try to explain them. But if I put you through the workout, you would never know the difference. In fact, it's everything that I've ever done in all my workouts, which is why I think my brand has had such great longevity is because people are like, I got great results. And they don't have to think about it. You know what I mean? It's like, let me do it. Just do what I say. 20 to 30 minutes, it'll be great. If you hate me, nope, then it's not going to work for you.
Yeah. But you do have great workouts. I will say I don't usually do those tapes, but I remember I loved your shred at 30 minute. Yeah. 30 days.
Yeah. Best-selling of all time. Sold over 100 million copies, this damn workout. And it was because it was 20-minute workouts and people got results. So they loved it.
You sold 100 million copies of the 30-day shred?
Well over globally. Well over. Yeah. I know, mama. I know. I had to put it in the app. I was like, oh my God, I'm eating my own business. These damned, and I would ask people because they would send them to me on Instagram. And I was like, where are you playing a DVD right now?
Yeah.
They're like, in my son's Xbox. I was like, oh. So I ended up putting them all in the app because I was cannibalizing my own business. So my entire DVD library is in there now.
Oh my! That is unbelievable, because that really was one of, I loved that workout. Like that was like a great workout. And I'm very particular, and that one works.
People
was
like
great.
it. It's 20 minutes, any place, anytime. It's super accessible. And that's kind of the thing, is you got to meet people where they're at, but then still deliver results. So the techniques are what's going to do that. Now, if you don't like to train like that and you love dance or you love spinning or you love yoga, like great, because what's going to work best is consistency.
Yeah.
So if that's what you'll show up for consistently, then fantastic. And that's why I'm constantly trying to add, like, okay, if you are vegan, like I need to meet you where you're at. So I'm going to create the best diet I can, or have my registered dietitians create the best diet for vegans, because it is what it is. I need to customize. I need to wrap the science around the person.
Yeah.
So, if you love yoga, you love spinning, like I'm going to meet you where you're at. I'm going to give you the best program I can to get you the results you want with a modality you want to show up for.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
for me, I'm about efficiency. So that's how I train personally. And then on top of, being active, like I'll paddleboard, I'll ride my bike, I'll walk my dogs and hike them. But this is how I train. The supplement thing is, all right. So okay, let's take this with a grain of salt here. So here's what I recommend for everyone. I mean, because I find each one of these things really important.
Okay.
First, I take a symbiotic, which is a pre and probiotic product. But I'm so crazy that I know what strains to look for.
That's amazing.
So, because here's the thing, you can buy a product and you're like, 50 billion units of this, and they'll be giving you something really cheap, like acidophilus, right? That you can get in yogurt. Whereas,
exactly.
Yeah. So people don't know. They don't know. So what we do know about this is there's soil-based strains, there's food-based strains, and then there's strains that are inherent to human beings that we should be born with and that should cultivate over time. But then, poor diets, antibiotics, this, that, the other can compromise that. So I look for strains that are of that nature, that are inherent in us as human beings, because the rest you can get from food that are cheap and, go outside, take a deep breath in, you'll get it when you go hiking from the soil. So, well, I think that's great. I know I'm getting that stuff other ways. I want to get these that I can't get elsewhere. And you take it with prebiotics, so it supports the probiotics. So there's a brand that I love. It's called Allied Naturals. It's run by a mommy of two who had an autoimmune disease and became absolutely obsessed with nutrition and went to holistic doctors and registered dietitians and ended up formulating this line that's all from like organic whole food products. So nothing is synthetic. You don't get any of the bad stuff. So I love her. Her name's Shauna Ryder. She's amazing. And her brand is one of the top brands that I love.
Allied Naturals.
I take her symbiotic. And then she has so we're talking about what I think people should take. Then omega-3s. Now, I like krill oil instead of fish oil. Krill is more stable because fish oil spoils very easily. And you have zero worries about heavy metals. So, and it's more sustainable for the environment. So I take krill from my omega-3s. Then I take a multi-collagen peptide product. So multi-collagen is really important because we have many different forms of collagen in our body, right? One is for our gut lining, one is for hair, skin, and nails. There's many different types and they do different things. So you need a multi-collagen if you're going to supplement collagen, and you want a peptide product because it's more bioavailable, meaning more digestible. The one I take also, it happens to be Allied because it's grass-fed, grass-finished beef, cage-free chicken, wild-caught fish, that whole, right, more ethical, more clean. And her brand also has something in it called MSM, glucosamine chondroitin, which is for joints and connective tissue. Mm-hmm. And it also has been shown to help with longevity, which happens to be in a study in my book. So nevertheless, I chose that brand. There are a million other brands out there. That's the reason I chose that brand. Then, sorry, are you getting sick of this yet?
No, I've got a million questions already. Hold on, glucosamine. If someone takes glucosamine supplements, is that not as effective as taking the glucosamine with the other ingredients combined together as you do?
The combination makes it that much more effective.
Got it.
And
Okay.
the enzyme glucosamine chondroitin combo, you can take it separate, but when it's combined with, you're getting sort of these, it's kind of like taking resveratrol and NMN for, oh my God, I'm sorry, for anti-aging, which is,
No,
again,
I love
that's
this.
that's way out on the skinny branch, right? So I haven't touched on that one yet because
No, I love all this.
We're going to go that deep down the rabbit hole.
You're actually wrong. Not this audience. This audience they would go down that rabbit hole. We do a lot of like health and wellness hacks, and longevity is really big. And so this is actually stuff that I'm like riveted to hear all of this, but I think people are riveted. So then Align Natural. So far I got that. Okay, continue. Don't try to like gloss over it, because I think this is very interesting.
Okay. I mean, then I take a greens superfood blend.
Okay.
But again, the reason I like the Align product is because it has adaptogens in it. It has antioxidants in it. Otherwise, I'd have to take the mushrooms and the ashwagandha and all that crap separate. Because you're like, oh, turmeric, do I need it? Ashwagandha, do I need it? Reishi, do I need it? Cordyceps, what about that? It's all in there. So it's like one product. So it has all the green superfoods. It's all organic. It has all the adaptogens. It has all the antioxidants, and it has pre and probiotic fiber, but it has the soil base. So I get that there. So I get that in that product. And then I take the symbiotic separately, which has the human-based strains. And you could arguably be done there, right? Now, this is where I then take I'm such a freaking lunatic. I then take NMN and resveratrol for my sirtuins, which are my longevity genes. And this is directly from the mouth of one of the top geneticists at Harvard named David Sinclair. Like, I follow this guy pretty religiously. If you're interested in anti-aging, he's the top in his field. So I take, I've incorporated a lot of his research. So I do that. When I am out of the sun for long periods of time, which is often because I hide from the sun, and I do have a tendency to get vitamin D deficient, I'll take a Solray vitamin D3 K2 product, 5,000 IUs. Yep. But this is where, don't start treating conditions with vitamins. My doctor takes my blood every year. So when I start taking vitamin D and I decide on the IUs, I am doing that with my doctor, and I am doing it because I'm vitamin D deficient. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's interesting, because most people would say, I've had tons of doctors here, whatever, but taking a vitamin D supplement is a really good thing to do for your immune system and for all these other health, reasonings. And no matter if you live in LA or California, wherever you live, it's still, most people are deficient in vitamin E, and they have to take a blood test. And what do you think about that?
It's a question of how much, though, right?
Yeah,
so,
it is.
5,000 units? Do you take 3,000 units? Are you meant to take 10,000 units? Do you need to combine it with K2?
The combination.
It's so for me, 5,000 IUs of vitamin D and, couple D3 with K2 is what I do like 3 times a week. So I don't do it every day because it just starts to get freaking nuts. And I do watch my, I got my blood work back and I was deficient in folate. So it was like, okay, so I did that for a little while, redid my blood work. This is what I mean. Like, no one's going to, it's like fucking nuts. So with that said, the last thing that I do incorporate, I'll strategically supplement. So if I'm sick, I'll take an immunity formula. I'm like, oh, all right, got to get that elderberry, acerola, liposomal C. Then I will do that if I start to feel like I'm getting sick or my immune system is compromised. I do take a Miracle Reds product as well that has like all the berries and the mangosteen and the this and the that, blah, 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 blah. And what I do is I just literally I take the collagen, the greens, the NMN, the resveratrol, the reds, pour all those powders into a mixer, shake it up with water, and pour myself a massive, like a good shot, like let's say it's a triple shot, and slug it down every day. And then I take the symbiotic and the krill oil on top of that. And that's kind of how I get it done. So it sounds nuts, but it isn't that hard to do.
Okay, I want to have a list of Align Naturals. I got that. And then you got to give me a list of all of those brands, because I'm going to listen, I'm staring at your skin. Like, I swear, because it's like, I'm like, whatever she's doing, besides the end peel, I got it.
Yeah, I did just burn my face off. But
okay.
You can sort of see where I didn't. And it's still like, the skin's still good.
Nevertheless, I still, it's almost like, it looks great. The psychological element, though, I'm like, well, she's taking that. Maybe that helps with the skin, but this
does help it tremendously. Yeah, without a doubt. And people will say, well, don't I make collagen? Yes, but studies show you that when you also consume it, it helps your body better synthesize it, utilize it, make sure you're getting enough of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you don't have to do it. It's totally up to you. I do it because I'm doing box jumps. I want my cartilage, my tendons and my ligaments to recover as best as possible. I want my skin to look great. I want my gut health to be good. So yeah, I told you I'm a nut with this stuff. A bit of a nut job.
How about NAD? Do you not take any kind of NAD supplement?
You need it. That's why you take NMN. NAD. Follow this guy, David Sinclair. NAD is I believe the precursor to NMN. That's why you take NMN.
I've never heard of that. I'm going to look into that. Wow. How about, so how about then peptides? Do you believe it? Do you believe in peptides? It's like a new, you know what peptides are.
I take the collagen peptides.
No. I mean, the injections. A lot of my friends and people I know, they're the peptide, like they take in like the CJC 1295 peptide.
I haven't done that. No, what does that do? How do I not know this?
Oh my gosh, the peptide. They're like, I feel like it's like the hot thing that everyone's doing.
Oh my God, I haven't done it.
For anti-aging. And what was that?
No, I haven't done. I'm really iffy about like injecting shit in my system, because what is this one supposed to do?
Okay, well, there's like
I will do B12 shots occasionally if I don't eat red meat very often. But sorry, go ahead.
It's similar. Like, okay, so it's basically like there's a bazillion peptides, right? A bazillion, and then you can combine them together depending on what you want to do. So if you want to have weight loss, if you're looking for, it's very much it's an anti-aging trend. I'm surprised you've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's because it's probably bullshit. That's why I haven't.
Probably everybody.
But if they're promising weight loss, I can already tell you it's bullshit.
Listen, what they say is it's helping with the reason how they claim the weight loss piece is that because it elevates your it builds lean muscle mass, which helps helps with metabolism. I know. Okay, I will tell you. So
muscle mass, it's complete bullshit.
Oh, so, I agree. I should say this. I did like 3 days and I hated it because you have to inject yourself with in your stomach.
Okay. Well, here's what makes me really afraid is that as long as this isn't messing with your hormones like an HCG or an HGH or anything like that, I don't know enough about it to comment on that. But when you start supplementing hormones exogenously, meaning outside,
absolutely,
right? Allowing your body to make it endogenously from the inside and regulate these hormones, you are now creating a situation where your body becomes dependent on exogenous supplementation and stops functioning and regulating optimally. Because it's like, where's all of this coming from? So it can create a host of problems with regard to, depending on what you're supplementing, cancer, heart disease, the shutting down of your own metabolic function, and so on. With this in particular, though, to turn around and say, it helps with weight loss because it builds lean muscle. That is just complete bullshit. That's not how you build lean muscle. So that's just complete bullshit.
I want you to look into this. I want you to look into this because this is becoming a huge, a huge thing. And especially LA, New York, where people that have extra expendable income, because it's expensive too. It's like $500-$600 a month, because you have to order it monthly.
I promise I will do my homework on it because I actually don't know anything about it, but that claim is bullshit because I know exactly how the body builds muscle and that's not it. So if you're supplementing things that are dangerous, like androgenic hormones, you'll get big and you will have a host of issues from it, like heart attacks. But you want to build or maintain muscle, work out. and
Yeah.
eat, the normal amount of food with the American Dietetic Association's minimal amount of protein, ideally more, so up to 30% of your recommended daily calorie allowance, and your body will maintain muscle. Like, I promise you, I have the bone density of a 30-year-old because I regulate my body. I check the stuff on a regular basis of a healthy 30-year-old, and I'm not doing this. So, that's just bullshit to make a claim like that. I'm telling you right now, that is complete bullshit. I can't believe they're getting away with it.
First of all, but you know who's doing it? It's all these concierge doctors and
someone else.
everybody. And by the way,
Jillian Michaels bashes so-and-so's peptide pills.
No, you don't understand. Like every single doctor, especially in LA, like every single celebrity that you see on TV, they're all taking this shit. I'm surprised you've never heard of this.
They're also doing keto, and they're also doing enemas, and they're also doing vagina facials. And
yes.
I mean, mama, I can't. Like, I recently saw, it's like, yeah, they do all that stuff because they're actors. That's not, and I'm not saying that to be insulting. I'm saying that's not.
No, you're right.
So when someone comes along and says, oh, you know what you need to do? Shoot coffee up your backside. Gonna be great. And they're like, I need to do this? Okay, fine. When it's like, no, it's completely dangerous. You can perforate.
I love it.
Your bowels. You disrupt the good bacteria in your colon. Like, it's a terrible effing idea. And it does nothing beneficial for you and only has downsides. And or they'll be like, oh, you know what you need to do? You need to sweat yourself and work out in these hot workouts to detox your body. Total lie. All it's doing is dehydrating you, which is totally counterintuitive to detoxing your body. And the way you detox your body is through your liver, your kidney, your spleen, your lungs. Your organs do that job. So you want to support them. Don't put crap in your system. Eat good stuff that supports their optimal function. Drink water and sleep. Don't sweat. That's not the key. That's not going to work. That's complete bullshit. That's like turning lead into gold. Not true. And this is what I mean when I tell you it's not an opinion. It's called biology. We already know this. Well, we know that's not true. It's these trends. Oh, I'm doing keto. It's like we already came out. Every doctor under the sun came out 2 years ago now. I actually think it was the beginning of 2020. And said it's the worst diet you could possibly do. Ranked the most unhealthy diet. Do we need to go back? Do we need to revisit? Like, how many more people need to speak? So it just, I get that they're doing it, but they're actors. They don't have the time to dig into this stuff and do the homework. And when someone's selling you like the latest trend, you're going to do it. And I'm not saying they're dumb or anything. I'm saying it's not their job to know.
Well, it's not just them. It's anybody who has expendable income. Like a lot of my friends or people I know who've CEOs, entrepreneurs who are chasing, youth, and they're also like obsessed with longevity, anti-aging. This is all, what it does actually, I think it's basically for your pituitary gland. It's not just building lean muscle. There's a lot of different things. I'm going to send it to you. I am shocked that you don't know about this.
I don't know about this.
I'm with you, lady.
I don't do though. People come to me all the time and they'll be like, what do you think of this fad diet? What do you think of that fad diet? What do you think? And generally I'm like, never heard of it. And they look at me like, isn't this your business? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I don't need to look at fad diets because I already know what to eat and how much to eat. So when something comes up, it's complete bullshit. It's like a flat earther popping up to try to tell me that the earth isn't round. I already know the earth is round. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at guys like Dr. William Li, who's studying angiogenesis, which is how foods can shut off the blood flow supply to bad cancers. Like, that's the shit I'm interested in. Or I'm looking at guys like David Sinclair, who are talking about what we can supplement to stress our sirtuin genes to live to 100 with vitality. So this kind of bullshit doesn't really grab my attention. I will look it up. Maybe I'm wrong. It's totally possible. And if I am, like, I will come back and be like, wow, girl, thank you for telling me. I'm injecting this shit in my ass today. I cannot wait.
No. I agree with you. Don't worry.
I doubt it, mama. I absolutely doubt it. And that claim about weight loss, I can promise you is bullshit.
Oh my God. I'm going to send you a bunch of this stuff. I think you probably know a lot of the doctors that I would know here that are like making a fortune off of this. Also, this is like, I love that because I think it's it's something that I cannot get behind myself because, like I said, for 3 days I did it and not because that's not a good enough amount of time. But I felt very strange injecting something in my stomach every single night and then relying on this supposed thing to help me with whatever it was. I was just doing it as a guinea pig, not because I was trying to like get to a certain result. I just wanted to see, I like to try everything. And
I hear you. But be careful with what you try though, because some of it, especially like, I don't know what this is, but you could like to try HGH, you could like to try HCG, and these things are very harmful.
Very harmful for your heart. Exactly. I totally agree. Okay. I have a couple other things for you and then I can like say, I can let you go. God knows it's been like forever. I mean, what else okay. I got your supplements, your best work, I think, day in the life. You know what, actually, I think, what's the most popular question you get? Is it about motivation or about having a six pack?
It's first question is, how do I get and stay motivated? Second question is, how do I lose the last 10 pounds? Always. Always, always, always.
And what do you say? What's the answers you give them?
First one is
on motivation.
This one's very straightforward. I mean, and now it's become a cliche, which is a real bummer, but it's helping them identify their why. So now everyone's saying this, but it originally came from Nietzsche and then was adopted by Viktor Frankl, who's one of the fathers of modern psychotherapy and a Holocaust survivor. And it's basically like, if you've got that why to live for, you can tolerate the how. And the how is the work and the sacrifice that are involved in achieving that goal. So I then turned around and turned it into work with a purpose becomes passion. Work without purpose feels punishing. So if you hate your coworkers or you hate a certain aspect of your business, but you love the end result, right? You're going to tolerate it. You're going to dig, you're going to grind, you're going to push. It's going to build resilience. And it's going to become a labor of love. If you hate every day at your work and the end result leads you nowhere good, and you don't have that why to fight for and live for, whether it's career, whether it's love, whether it's health, it's just going to feel like more punishment and you're going to give up on it. Mm-hmm. So, people will tell you like, oh, I want love, I want money, I want health. Well, what does that look like in your life? You know what I mean? Do you want to be in a 2-piece instead of a 1-piece at spring break because you're 20? Do you want to live to meet your great grandchildren because you're 65? Do you want to have sex with the lights on and feel more comfortable because you're any age? I mean, who cares? It doesn't matter, right? Do you want to raise money to fight breast cancer because you lost a loved one and live the best life in their honor? Like, it doesn't matter how superficial, it doesn't matter how profound, but you do need to decide what health looks like in your life, form an emotional connection to it, form that vision in detail, and then every choice you make is no longer about pizza versus salmon. It's about, 2-piece or not. You know what I mean? It's got perspective to it. So that's the first step. And then from there, it's about education so that the actions you do take when you've got that fleeting moment of bravado where you're like, all right, I'm going to do this. I got this. Nike, just do it. I'm doing it. You get results.
Right.
Whereas if you take uninformed action and you bring that to intention, you'll have catastrophe. You start a business, you don't do the homework, you're going out of business and likely declaring bankruptcy. You start a diet with the wrong information, you can screw up your metabolism, right? So then get informed because knowledge is power. It makes you feel more secure, less afraid of the unknown, less overwhelmed, gives you a clear way forward, and it helps give you results so that you stay motivated.
Right.
So there's that. When it comes to losing the last 10 pounds, it's a very different beast than losing 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds, right? I could take any individual who's asked me that question, bring them to the doctor, and the doctor will give them a perfectly clean bill of health. So this is not about your health. This is about, your personal aesthetic, which I'm not here to judge that. I don't care. This is your body. You do what you want to do. You want to be a 2 instead of a 6, fine, but you're perfectly healthy at a 6, most likely. And I say that because normally the person that comes to me saying I want to lose the last 10 is usually like going overboard, working out too much, dieting too much, going too hard on their body. And they're driven to this perfection, which again, I don't judge you, but generally it's vanity pounds for that reason. It has nothing to do with health. So if you want to take that off, that's fine. But your body is saying to you like, I'm good here. I'm healthy. Okay, we've got a lot of energy going out and not a lot of energy coming in. So your body is what's called a dynamic homeostasis. Your environment is dynamic. Your body is seeking homeostasis, which means stability. Mm-hmm. It's constantly trying to equalize. So if the stimulus is that you're only taking in 1,500 calories of energy, but you're always putting out 2,500 calories of energy, well, what's going to happen? You're going to just disappear. You're going to starve your body into nothing. So your metabolism, which is your hormone balance and your biochemistry, will shift so that base metabolic rate will lower. So it's like, okay, shut off HGH, release more cortisol, increase hunger hormone, shut down leptin, which makes you feel more full. Let's get the estrogen up. Let's get the testosterone down. Like, it's going to shift everything to hold weight, because it's going to think like, man, we got to slow down. We're going to starve here. This isn't good. So that's where the answer is no greater than 500 to 700 calorie a day deficit. No greater. Yes, get rid of the, if you're drinking, stop drinking. I don't care. I can go from 4 drinks a week to no drinks a week, and I will drop 2 pounds and be like photo shoot ready. I like myself better actually with that 2 pounds, because I look, my face fills out. But if I need it for my abs, I'm like, let me stop drinking for 2 weeks, and I pare right down by about 2 to 3 pounds. So stop drinking the booze. Don't eat processed foods. Don't create a bigger calorie deficit than 500 to 700 a week, and don't overtrain. You shouldn't be training more than 5 hours a week tops. And if you are training that hard, again, make sure you're eating enough so that calorie deficit is not greater than 500 calories. And then your body will gradually allow that weight to come off so that you have a new metabolic set point of 115 instead of 125. And I say that because that's my weight. I'm 5'2". So
right.
130 instead of 140.
I'm surprised you don't get asked the cardio or strength training question. Like, what do you prefer?
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
So cardio is actually, if you like it, great. But it's steady state cardio is the most inefficient form of fitness. Mm-hmm. It just is. It kind of pisses people off, but it's just for what? Like you should be training, utilizing resistance and HIIT intervals in a circuit training fashion in swift succession. Steady state cardio, comparatively speaking, doesn't benefit any fitness goal except endurance. It's not better for weight loss. It's not better for muscle maintenance. It's not better for bone density. It's not better for metabolism. It's not better for cardiovascular conditioning. If you're into long distance sports, then yes, right? It's sports specific training, good for endurance. If you love it, then great. I'm not gonna, just like I said, if you love it, fantastic. Like do it. However, you do have to be smart about it. So again, like even in the app, we have 5K programs, we have 10K programs that are coupled with stretching, foam rolling, strength training days, because all of that repetitive stress of flexion, extension, the same movement over and over and over it causes injuries. Mm-hmm. It's repetitive stress. That's what runner's knee is. That's what tennis elbow is. It's repetitive use without enough recovery. So it's not only the least efficient form of fitness that you can engage in, it also has potential downsides if you don't balance it out with other modalities.
Mm-hmm. I think it's more also for a mental thing, right? So for me, I like to run just because it clears my head, but it doesn't.
By all means, run.
Right.
Just balance it out. Just make sure that you're not putting miles upon miles upon miles on your body, that you're foam rolling, that you're stretching, and that you're strength training efficiently so that you are balancing out any potential issues. And anything you do repetitively, I would highly recommend you have an expert look at your form so that, because how do I say this?
No, but you're absolutely correct, because I have so many injuries, but because of something like that, like it's unbelievable. It's a repetitive motion. My knee, my hip, my this, my that. It's awful.
Well, it's not your knee. It's either your hip or your ankle that cause knee problems. But this is
both. I have an ankle problem too. The whole side.
Okay. Yeah. So this is where you need somebody to look at. This is why I want to add this guy Brandon to the app, is somebody to look at your form and go, okay, so you're repetitively engaging in this detrimental movement pattern. So over time, you're going to have arthritic knees. It depends on how you're running, right?
Absolutely true. Yeah.
If you were seeing a heel strike, it's like, oh, that's going to cause shin splints over time. If I see, the way that you're running and you are, you're flipping that foot out because of a hip issue, that's going to cause an arthritic knee. It's going to cause runner's knee over time. So I'm not asking people not to do repetitive movements. I'm asking them to do them properly and to do them in a balanced way with the adequate amount of rest and recovery as well.
No, absolutely. And you're so on point. I mean, because that is exactly what happens. And it's just more of a mental mindset to get away from that and to shift. But like on a purely science data basis, it's 100%. I mean, listen, I always have to wear a knee brace. It's like I'm like falling apart, like I'm 107. You know,
you want a referral? You live in LA?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go see this guy, Brandon Voles. He's amazing. He's worked with me on a shoulder injury. I'll send you his information, or you can check out his Instagram. It's Brandon Voles X, VOLZ, VOLZ, and then X, Brandon Voles X.
Okay.
But you're in LA, like you have him. He's incredible, and he'll fix you so that when you run properly. I'm gonna get you out of these bad biomechanical patterns, because if you keep repeating it, it's going to be a real problem in 10 years, 15 years.
Oh, believe me.
Hip replacement.
Oh, so God, I know. I'm not trying to but this is not new. Like, this is like, you're just like, kind of like, you're basically reminding me of things that I already know that I have to kind of focus on, because it is terrible. It really is, for lots of reasons. But Jillian, I love that we got to talk and meet you. But you're awesome. I love you in person-ish. You know what I mean? Not.
Thank you, bud. I appreciate it. Same, and I hope I get to see you in person next time.
Habits and hustle, time to get it rolling. Stay up on the grind, don't stop, keep it going. Habits and hustle, from nothing into something. All out, hosted by Jennifer Cohen. Visionaries, tune in, you can get to know them. Be inspired, this is your moment. Excuses, we ain't having that. The Habits and Hustle podcast, powered by Habit Nest.